Get ready for a big day in the Bitcoin world on December 29th. There's a huge amount of Bitcoin options set to expire, $10.1 billion. Yep, did it shock you? Probably no. Anyway, so what's happening in the options market? Well, Deribit is leading the pack with a giant of $7.7 billion in open interest, while Chicago Mercantile Exchange, CME, is next with $1.38 billion. They're way ahead of OKX, which is sitting at $630 million. Piling up altogether is a total of $10.1 billion of both call and put options. For your information about call and put options, call options are like bets that Bitcoin's price will go up. Put options are the opposite, they're bets that the price will go down. Right now, there's a lot of interest on both sides. They were like trying to destroy each other by achieving that price. Oh. Who will be the winner? Bull or bear? Place your bet. Anyway, the red alert is about the call options between $42,000 and $44,000. If Bitcoin's price stays above $42,000 by December 29th, a lot of these call options will be winners, and if the price shoots up over $44,000, and even more call options will hit the jackpot, while they enjoy the ching and the final smile. But there's another side to this, the folks with put options, or those betting the price will go down. They're hoping Bitcoin stays under $42,000 so they can keep their profit in their pocket. If they does, they'll be the ones smiling, not the calls, unfortunately. So right now, Bitcoin is hovering around $43,100, and what does this mean? It could be either way. Since both parties are looking to push the price to desired direction, then we might see the price dance around between $42,000 and $44,000 because of all this action in the options market. It will be an interesting day to see what will happen. Also, SEC did the final call for editing the Bitcoin spot ETF filing. It's sort of interesting to me what will happen, we will see. Continue next with recently. We had an explosion in TVL on Ethereum Layer 2 rollups like Arbitrum, and optimism is super bullish news that indicates adoption is picking up steam. For some background, TVL refers to the total value of crypto assets deposited into DeFi protocols on a blockchain. When TVL grows, it means more users are utilizing those platforms. Layer 2 rollups are ingenious solutions built on top of Ethereum to help with the network's congestion and outrageous gas fees. They bundle all roll-up transactions and execute them off-chain, before batch sending the data back to Ethereum. This technique allows them to process hundreds or even thousands of transactions in the time and cost of a single Ethereum transaction. Sort of like giving users all the security of Ethereum at a fraction of the normal cost. In which today, we see a surge on ARB despite a large sum of token unlock happening in months later. One of the well-worth mention coin is Metis, if you haven't already heard of it. It doesn't matter cause they have been hiding behind the scene all the time. While they recently announced of a revolution technology breakout in the blockchain industry. We might discuss it in another topic. I believe it has an opportunity to be the next X100 coin in the next bull market. Though it's not a financial advice cause it's already X10 from its last low. Getting in the market now, it's sort of like FOMO, while I don't encourage doing that though. But we can be guaranteed with development and the FOMO-like growth of accumulation of the coin, as well as the stunning growth of TVL in this Layer 2 protocols, simply stunning. We are slowly seeing money flowing back to the market again. Personally, I think it's neither a bad news based on the projection of hype given by this Bitcoin spot ETF. The expression of the traders, from what I can see, are basically FOMO. The queen of ARK Invest, Cathie Wood, has been making some interesting moves lately that don't quite align with her outward optimism about Bitcoin ETFs. Despite being vocal on social media about expecting an imminent Bitcoin spot ETF approval, she suddenly dumped GBTC shares and bought a competing Bitcoin futures ETF. There may be more than meets the eye here. For background, GBTC is the Grayscale Bitcoin Trust, which holds actual Bitcoin on investors' behalf. Grayscale has been trying to convert GBTC into a spot Bitcoin ETF for ages now, but the SEC keeps delaying. Cathie's ARK Next Gen Internet ETF, ARKW, held over 350,000 GBTC shares just last month. GBTC was ARKW's #1 holding, representing billions in assets. But last week, ARK dumped its entire GBTC position, selling off every last share. The timing seemed questionable, given Cathie's continued optimism about finally getting a spot Bitcoin ETF greenlit. Just this month, she tweeted yet again about reading the tea leaves, saying she expects GBTC will convert and the SEC will allow spot ETFs in early 2023. The dump of GBTC shares doesn't really align with that narrative. To make things even weirder, after selling GBTC, Cathie plowed half of those billions in proceeds into the ProShares Bitcoin Strategy ETF, BITO. This new futures-based fund instantly became ARKW's 5th largest holding. Now don't get me wrong, BITO is also Bitcoin related. But it seems odd to rotate from actual Bitcoin exposure into a futures product right before the spot ETF decision Cathie keeps hyping up. Some speculate she's intentionally trying to suppress GBTC and give BITO a competitive advantage in obtaining ETF approval. ARK is now BITO's 2nd largest holder, so she has skin in the game. Others guess she may have insider information that the SEC isn't actually going to allow spot ETFs this time around. Her actions seem to contradict her optimistic rhetoric on Twitter. Whatever the reason, dumping GBTC only to buy its direct competitor BITO was an unexpected move by Cathie, especially considering her constant optimism about getting the green light for actual spot Bitcoin ETFs soon. Meanwhile, as all this ARK drama unfolds, Microstrategy and Michael Saylor keep on stacking SATs like there's no tomorrow. Just this week, the company disclosed that it purchased over 14,000 more bitcoins for $615 million in cash. At today's prices, that's around $580 million worth of BTC. This adds to the 189,000 bitcoin Microstrategy already holds on its balance sheet, now worth over $6 billion total. Saylor continues to double down on Bitcoin as his company's primary reserve asset. Kinda he sees it as the best defense against inflation and poor monetary policy, while other publicly traded companies are now starting to follow his lead. Cause he's like the Bitcoin star now ever since the breakout of Bitcoin on $30,000. Everyone thought he did the right move. Since Fed still voting to increase rates and inflation stubbornly high, which I don't believe they will rate the hike cause. If you take a closer look, the drop in USD index as well as the money flooding out from repo market. They no longer had their money stored within the central bank, I mean most of them. So Microstrategy is betting that Bitcoin will continue to appreciate compared to fiat over the long run. The recent $615 million BTC purchase was funded entirely from Microstrategy's corporate cash flows. They didn't even need financing this time. The company generates ample free cash flow to keep buying. Some speculate that Microstrategy timed this latest Bitcoin acquisition ahead of a potential spot ETF approval, which could send prices higher. This would allow MSTR to stack more SATs per dollar before a major rally. Unlike Cathie Wood's questionable maneuvers, Saylor has been extremely consistent about his Bitcoin strategy for Microstrategy. He continues to stick to the plan of acquiring as much BTC as possible each quarter to hedge inflation risk. Whereas ARK Invest is now waffling around between actual Bitcoin and futures ETFs. Microstrategy remains laser-focused on buying real BTC regardless of what the SEC decides on spot ETFs. Saylor even took to Twitter claiming that Bitcoin is hope and everything else is noise. His conviction remains strong while others like Cathie seem less certain. The result of Bitcoin spot ETF is getting even nearer and nearer. I can feel your blood is pumping. To me, I'm fine in any way, so thanks for watching and I will see you on another video.